Hello, dearie. I know that you and the others would love to continue to insult my pauses and the way that I would fumble across my words. But the truth is, as always, I don't really write these things down. As mentioned before, I didn't really plan out entirely the way that video went. And the same thing goes for anyone who commented on the video editing that I did, the tiny bit. If you don't like the quality of the video editing, that's fine. That's probably the highest degree of video editing that I will partake in this channel, because that's not what this channel is for. But I thought that it would be a nice breakaway from the way I usually do things in order to properly express the difference between my views and the views of Taya. I, Mav the Wicked, am not beyond insult or harm to others for this simple amusement of the aspect. Normally it will be based on some sort of logic, breaking down the logic of what someone says. Now, the capability of someone to properly articulate without pauses and that like is not going to be something that I look into. You may entirely focus upon that, but I will find trivial and boring, shallow, and pointless. Simply because the ideas expressed transcend transcend the way that they are expressed. For instance, well, neither Sarah nor Jeffrey Rowe expressed any real deep quantities of thought in their videos for me to critique, but you know, I appreciate the attention nonetheless. It's not as if my coming back video expressed some deep quantities of thought. But this video shall be different. I did not find a target to make fun of. There is no logic for me to currently insult. However, there is a quandary that has been bothering my mind. You see, we have this idea in the world as a whole currently that property is somewhat sacred. People may say that's not entirely true, but no matter what country you go to, generally there is some sort of law against theft. Now, I was reading the book Discworld, and was also playing the mud, more playing the mud than reading the actual books. But that's another story entirely. And in that world, theft is not considered against the law. Killing a thief is. Now think about that. A lot of people would say, that's not right. They stole my property. They deserve to die. Well, let's think about this. What exactly qualifies anyone to own property? I'm not trying to persuade anyone of one viewpoint or another, but I would like to bother you all with a viewpoint that most of you probably would never consider. What if thievery should not be considered a crime? What if it is the actual idea of ownership that is a tyranny? Because we all come into this world owning nothing. What we own or perceive that we own, we've actually taken. We always, from the beginning of our lives, will commit some sort of act of thievery. Granted, we are not thieving. In current society, we do not thieve from individuals, or if we do, we call it business. But instead, we steal from animals, from plants, but at the same time, we're still taking something that was a part of something else, or was in the possession of something else. If we were to consider it on a grand scheme of things, from the idea that there is no complete and utterly true way to tell that anyone around you has agency. Let's start with that. Because you have no clue that just because someone walks like you, talks like you, or looks like you in the basic anatomical sense, that they actually think. That's why I make no attempts to really care whether people watch my channel, because they may very well not exist at all, and I'm talking to myself. But I enjoy it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But from that perspective, how do you know that there's a difference between taking from that animal and taking from a human? I'm not saying that we should all go vegan, quite the opposite. I'm saying that it is a crime of nature to think that thievery is wrong, because we are doing it in every single step of our lives. We are going to steal from nature. We steal from Earth. If the Earth herself were to file claims against humanity, she would win a lawsuit of the greatest caliber in her earnings, in her dues. What she would be due would be beyond what we can give. We would be in debt to the Earth, and we are in debt to the Earth, whether we realize it or not, far more than we can ever repay in our lifetimes. But that's okay, because we're looking at it from a system of ownership, which is not the way Mother Earth sees it. Nothing is owned. Ownership is a silly concept to Mother Earth, but instead, everything has its own natural order of give and take. So, to survive, if someone were to steal, no matter what it was, even if they were stealing to sell to survive, that's in no way any different from stealing from the forests, the way that a hunter does. Because it is all already something that is owed whoever has the strength of mind to get it. But nature also tends to have a little secret about that. Because if it was all about the strength, why, we would never have survived. It's about the strength of will combined with a sense of balance with those who would help you, a sense of honor towards people. And that is what we built this social contract around. See where I'm going? I'm turning this all back around to the property ownership thing. This idea of property ownership, and now I'm arguing against myself, is actually born from that same system that nature herself loves. Because if you feed a wolf the way we fed wolves early on with scraps and whatnot, at first the wolf of course is still going to be a feral wild animal, but you can breed said wolf into being a dog, as we did. And that dog, as long as you give it food, will protect you. So, from that sense, you gave things that you took from your normal rightful, willful theft, your right to thieve from nature, from the world around you. You use that to give. And when you do that, you actually get a group that will help you out. As you see in the development of dogs, in the development of other domestic animals, you get animals willing and living to die for you. But I think we need to go beyond that. Perhaps, instead of simply having animals that are below us, we need to go further and give them more of what we've already stolen. We need to work towards their evolution. We've already worked towards our evolution. We need to work towards their evolution to be self-sufficient and not need us. It seems counterintuitive, but if we can get them to that point and evolve them sentience, they will be thankful, and we will reap the rewards of such a grouping of such a truths. Kindness, nature repays it, but it's still all from a system of theft.